Hello everyone, Zach here from the Carnival of Randomness on behalf of our sponsor, Upsitnik & Associates. In these unprecedented times, we reflect on our future, both in the next few weeks and months, but also the upcoming years and decades. And it's time to prepare for that future. Upsitnik & Associates has been contacted by many healthcare workers, as well as old and new clients, to prepare wills, powers of attorney, and advance directives, also called a living will. All of you need these documents. So don't say you don't have any assets to speak of, no children or other dependents. Regardless of the circumstances now, you will need a will for today and tomorrow. Al Upsitnik feels so strongly about having wills and other needed documents prepared that Upsitnik & Associates can prepare your will, power of attorney, and living will at no charge, you heard that correct, no charge until the end of 2020. No hidden fees or gimmicks. Al feels so strongly about planning for the future at this time that he is willing to assist you with your future. Trust Upsitnik & Associates, attorneys for 42 years, from the Supreme Court to Alaska and everywhere in between. You can find them online, upsitnikslaw.com, on Facebook, Upsitnik & Associates, or call them toll-free 1-866-391-3299 to prepare for your future.
And it's the Carnival of Randomness, and this is the episode the world has been waiting for. I've gotten cards, letters, telegrams, pigeons have come in the house, giving me notes. It is, wait for it, dramatic pause, the return of Bauman.
Thank you.
I can't say enough. And you have some breaking news that very big, and the world is shocked by this. New Armored Saint album.
Oh my God, yeah. Super excited about this one. I've been waiting a long time for Armored Saint to come out with a new tune. What's funny is I was driving to work one day, and I just happened to put it on Liquid Metal, and all of a sudden this song comes out, new music, and it's Standing on the Shoulders of Giants. I'm like, oh, this is great. Couldn't find it on any, they played it one time on the radio, and then not again, and I'm like, what's going on? And then I was, we're going to release our new single, and then the new one came out, which is, I would say, extremely appropriate for today's time.
And I was thinking about this. I can't for the life of me think of who they opened for when I saw them. Because I've seen them.
Diamond, probably.
Probably, because, you ever get that, in the 80s and such, that I keep my concert stubs all the time.
Yeah.
But you get them mixed up, who opened for whom.
Well, they've toured frequently way back in the day, but the last time I can remember seeing them was, I can't remember what the name of the place was. It was on Liberty Pole Way.
Idols?
No.
Heaven?
Same
Billy
place,
Squire played there.
Same place that Heaven was, but it was called something different.
Okay.
And they opened up for King Diamond.
Because
it was a great show.
I was very impressed. I do my wise assy Facebook post. Jeff is the only one who knew Udo Dirk Snyder was. And it came up. These things pop up into my head, and it was like all of a sudden I'm thinking, why not? And Udo Dirk Snyder is the Beaver. He is the singer for Accept, too.
That was a good one.
I met him at House of Guitars. Because we were all in the metal heart. Then I got Russian Roulette. He was one of the bands they showed up at the House of Guitars.
Yeah, back in the day, a lot of bands would show up to House Guitars. So if somebody would come in town to play, whether they were playing at a club, a bar, or, the War Memorial at the time.
It's still the War Memorial.
Yeah, it's always going to be War Memorial to me. But, you'd go to the House of Guitars with the assumption that they would be there and you'd be able to see them. I mean, I remember when Fastway was coming to town. Man, I forgot who the hell they opened up.
They
opened up for
too,
Rush.
by the way.
Yeah,
obviously,
Pete Way.
Bless him,
why I brought it up.
Passed away.
I brought it up because of that. They were there. I remember walking up the stairs from the bottom to the top, and Pete Way was coming down, and I had a chance to talk to him. So it was actually.
And the thing cool was, all I remember from that too, when they played, was the beach ball, because somebody kicked the beach ball on stage, and the singer sung to the beach ball. Yep. I thought it was a great. But the thing was, I walked by. Lita Ford walked by me. Because she appeared at the House of Guitars. I was shopping and didn't know. She walks by me.
Yeah, there were a lot of people that would be there. What was cool is, if you're from Rochester, I guess this is, I'm going way back because you really don't do this now, but, you get an album or, a CD or whatever, and you'd immediately play the album or the CD, and you'd look at the liner notes, and you'd start reading it and who they thanked, and you'd see House of Guitars go, yeah, I know that. You'd get all, yeah, I know that place, or you'd see a band in Rolling Stone or Cream magazine or something like that, and somebody would have a shirt on that would say the House of Guitars.
Last person I met was Johnny Five from Rob Zombie, and I was just shopping there, and Rob Zombie was in town with Marilyn Manson.
Yeah.
And there was a little ado upstairs. So I go up there, John Five. Some guy had him sign a baseball. I just went up there, shook hands with them. It's like, hey, I saw you guys play at Water Street. Cool, man, cool.
Yeah, I mean, I never got into, can you sign this? Can you do this? I don't know. I've always been under the opinion, they have a job. This is what they do. I enjoy their music. Great. It's nice to meet them. Hey, how you doing? Really like your new album. And that was it.
That's for me. I had actually a moment when my mom drilled in my head for year after year Gene Cornish, because she played bingo with Gene Cornish's mom.
Okay.
So she said they had pictures. So anyways, he played these Thanksgiving week concerts at House of Guitars. And after my mom passed away, it's one of those things I want to find out. So I go down there, he plays a show. I go talk to him afterwards. He stops and he says, talk to that woman over there, because his mom passed away. He played Sleepwalking as a dedication to her. There was this older lady there. I mentioned my mom's name, and she knew exactly who she was.
That's cool.
And the other one was my conversation. I told Sheldon this, and Sheldon, again, I think is having problems with the Twizzlers. This is something we don't laugh about.
He might have fallen off the wagon.
He's worse than Ozzy, but I mean, when they get the new flavors out.
Well, I mean, he was going good for a while, and then all of a sudden, those Haribo gummy bears, he started on those, and I think that was just a slippery slope for him.
Yeah.
Now he's back on the Twizzlers.
It was a problem. We found, he did wear, a firehouse mask. We found him taped in the mask. It was horrifying. But I told Sheldon the story. So Saxon, one of my favorite bands.
Yep.
They're playing Penny Arcade. So I hear they're playing House of Guitars. And you see, Saxon plays, they headline outdoor festivals in Europe. They're playing Penny Arcade.
A lot of European bands, they come here. And
so I go down to meet them, and literally the line's 20 people. And I just want to talk to them. But I figure I got their album, I bought their new album, why not sign it? So I go up there, and I'm rambling 20 words a minute, like, Mr. Bifford, I love Watch the Skies, I love going on. He sits there trying to, this marker's fucked. And the marker would work. So that was the deep thought.
Yeah, that band's actually, they're still out producing, and they're actually making some good music, which is good. Good for them. He did a tribute song to Lemmy from Motorhead that I thought was really, really good. And I think they're actually working on a new album. But I love that band. There's some stuff.
They were ones remember we would get the magazines and people wouldn't know what we were talking about.
Yep.
There'd be all these bands, and I always heard of Saxon and hearing all these big. I know friends of mine saw Marillion at the Penny Arcade.
Oh,
they played at the Penny Arcade, and people just see. And I know Cheap Trick played there when they started out.
A ton of bands played there. A ton.
I remember still the story, seeing Slayer there with the dudes in the black hoods.
Yeah, that I will say that. So I had the opportunity to see Slayer on their farewell tour. Best show I've ever seen. Hands down, best show I've ever seen.
There, and I think one of the things I wanted to talk about, I was thinking about a lot of these bands we grew up with. Iron Maiden, who still, the band.
My favorite.
But Judas Priest, AC/DC, you look at the charts too, you'll see they'll be away for a while and they'll go on. Or a band like Rush, who throughout their entire career, no matter how the economy, they would always sell gold and they would always sell out.
Yep.
And the idea I think about is these bands have staying power because eventually you just go to the simplest answer. Maybe they're pretty damn good.
Oh yeah, no, I think I think a problem a lot of the band. I think a problem that a lot of the, call it, traditional music critics have with those type of bands is they think they're gimmicky. They look at Iron Maiden, would Iron Maiden be Iron Maiden if it wasn't for Eddie? Well, why don't you just sit down and watch these musicians actually play?
What you do?
Watch these guys.
I use the term, what you do is put the CD on, close your eyes.
Yeah. But if you're going to talk gimmicky, okay, well, look, I got a lot of friends that are big, big Kiss fans. I'm not a Kiss fan, but I understand the impact they had on music. Prior to Kiss, merchandising and stage shows, that wasn't a thing. And now it's so they had a big imprint on live music specifically.
And what they are, I always
how
people would ask
bands
me
can
my
make
opinion of
revenue.
them, and I always say their opinion. We have friends who are really great fans of this. I'm just sort of casual, but I had to go see them because I literally remember in the day.
Oh, I've seen them.
Under
I've
20
seen 'em
bucks.
live.
I've seen them. I go to every show. I don't care who it was.
I saw them on their first iteration of the farewell tour.
Yeah.
I think they're on what, like 50 farewell
Now they're
tour
going to be
52
doing
or something.
Yeah, and they'll be going to like 2025 because of the virus.
I mean,
but they're showmen, and when you go, you expect a show. But the thing is, their music's not utter crap. People will just say it's just.
No,
but
they got
they
good.
have good, especially their first 3 albums. They're raunchy, they're nice, and they're good, and they are showmen.
They have really good. I mean, look, people can say, well, it's kind of basic, but it's good. It's catchy. It's raw. To your point, the first 3 albums really raw. It didn't catch me like it didn't catch me like some of my friends. Like they're like, oh my god!
I had to do one
really
I've been doing. I watched one of their farewell shows on YouTube over because we don't have any concerts, and I stopped midway because you had the pyro and everything.
Yeah.
But to me, I just you had to be there. I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's like anything. I mean, I feel for these musicians. I mean, because everything's shut down. I mean, okay, now they're doing drive-in kind of.
That got canceled too.
But they're trying to figure out how to make a living. And it's not just the musicians; it's all the people that support them, the stagehands.
That's the point.
It's just
the big point. Like for example, when I heard earlier this year, all the major tours were canceled. Some of these people they can afford it, but what about the people, the workers, the stagehands? But say like a really big band, like the Stones. I don't think are going to go tour.
They're not hurting.
But some can't. Some have lifestyles where the money's not coming in. But the people who work on the sets, everything else.
Well, that's where they make their money now. I mean, it's not like, you go back 60s, 70s, 80s, even the 90s for a little bit. You can make money selling albums and CDs, right? You can't do that now.
No.
I mean, it gets released on Spotify and they get like half of a percentage of a penny.
It's the reverse. Where before these guys could go out on,
like
all these guys in the 70s could go on these extravagant tours because, like Led Zeppelin, their albums would sell 10 million, so they could do whatever they wanted on tour.
Right.
Now it's the opposite, where they've got because remember,
they have to tour.
When you take I think the Rolling Stones in the mid 70s got called greedy because they started charging $7. I have friends who saw Led Zeppelin come to Rochester on their 3rd album tour, $3.
Yeah, but you'd make your money on album sales.
Yeah, that was the big thing.
And even then, they weren't making like big percentages, but they were making money.
Except
but
for
now,
Zeppelin.
You have to tour. I think on one of the shows, one of the podcasts that I did a while ago, I talked about, this whole digital kind of environment's been bad for music, but it's been great for music fans because there's way more shows to go to.
Yeah.
I mean, how come this band doesn't come around? Oh my God, when are they going to tour? Now it's like, man, I don't have the money. I want to see that band. I don't have the money. I got like 6 other shows I'm going to. So it's from a fan's perspective, you're like, oh, you're great because look at all this music you can get and these shows that are coming out. And then you add COVID on top of it, and now you can't even do shows. And now bands are like, well, why release an album because you can't tour on it?
Yeah.
So you're sitting there like, well, what are you going to do?
I remember
and then they do the virtual shows on YouTube, and now they're starting to, a tip jar and But I'll say this: like, if you're a music fan, give money to the tip jar.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Help these guys out because I say guys, but I'm female male. Help
you're gonna get canceled.
Help them out. Yeah, I'm in cancel culture now. Help them out because like this is what they do and. If you like listening to it and it puts you in a better mood or whatever reason, you like music, just help them out.
Some of my friends have done the virtual shows, and what I just do is like my friend Natalie Gelman, she does one every week. She's in California now. She's from New York. First day of the month, I hit the tip thing, give like a big tip for the whole month. That's like my concert.
That's actually pretty good.
I just
like that.
because then I don't bother. I give $50
you
or
get it
whatever.
done and you move on.
Get it done. Then next month, same thing.
Yeah.
But the thing for them, and that's their livelihood. But I've seen some musicians start to lose it doing these things too. One of my friends who's been doing one every week, she came out and said it's not really any fun anymore. There's no feedback from the audience. No.
Oh, I'm sure it's. There's a part of an artist, whatever art they do, making the art is, part of the joy, like, taking something and put it on a canvas, right? And then you got like musicians, like they take something and their canvas is, the digital platform that they're putting their music out there, right? But then they get in front of people and kind of get the crowd interact, and that's gone. I mean, what are you going to do? Like a Zoom concert?
The little stars or
the
the little high fives or something, or stuff like that.
Like a little,
it's like I saw
emoji coming. Like
my friend Meg Williams played some incidental music on Friday, and I went out to see her, and I've been watching her shows, and just seeing her in person.
Hold on, she was at a no. You didn't see a show. You went to a protest.
Yeah, I did.
You got to go to a protest. It wasn't a show. Protests you're allowed to be at. So
yeah, there's something magic about protests where you can have lots of people, and they get somebody up and play. Because if it's a protest, COVID runs from protests.
Yes, it does.
You can have 100,000 people.
Well, it runs from protests. It runs from food.
Not wings, though.
It might be the hot sauce that pulls it back in. The other thing that I thought that I think is really odd with this disease issue, whatever you want, a virus, it tends to travel at about the 5'6" range, because you have to wear a mask when you're walking through a restaurant, but the moment you sit down, you can take it off.
Yeah.
And I figured the height's probably around maybe about 5'6". So, that's kind of bizarre that it was big.
I saw
it, though. Designed that way.
I saw the sunlight hit the virus at one bar, and ordered a drink. It came toward me, but then the food went down. It ran away.
It ran away. Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
It's amazing. Crazy. Or you walk around, or like.
Well, they say viruses adapt. Yeah. So, as they come out with a new law, it's going to adapt and come to, or a new, request. It's going to adapt and come to something else.
It is, I know.
So next thing you know, it's like if you have food, if you have a drink and food, it's good. But then it's going to be like, well, hold on, you got to have Jell-O, because Jell-O, it just bounces off. It will. So you're good. Yeah.
And pretty soon, what we're going to do, the requirement's not going to be masked. We're going to have to wear Jell-O on us. Like, just pour it over, go out, because it'll bounce off us.
Yeah, I mean, in masks. So, what one are you supposed to wear? How are you supposed to wear it? How long are you supposed to, whatever.
And we won't get into tactical, but have you ever seen like a hazmat mask? It's a little different.
Oh, my God. This is the best one. So, me and my oldest son, we're going to Wegmans, and you got to wear a mask. Okay, fine. No problem. Get out of the truck. We're walking in, and I got the thing on. I put it on just as I'm about to go in the door. I put it on. In Wegmans, you have like the area you walk in, and you can walk in from typically either side door, and then you turn into the building, right? So there's like the big, call it like a hallway or whatever, and they have stuff that they're selling there. And this guy comes walking out of Wegmans, and he's walking out to leave, and he has got the Walking Dead World War III gas mask on with the canisters on the side, and he's walking out of Wegmans. And here's the thing I love about masks. I mean, I got this grin like I'm going to laugh my ass off. And he don't know because I got a mask on, right? But I'm like, that guy rules. That guy rules. He's wearing, I'm talking the full, like over the head, the zip.
Like you're going in freaking, right, you're going into Ebola territory.
Yes. It had the canisters on the side. He had to get this from some army surplus store or something. But, oh my God, it was so funny. I'm like, that guy gets it. That guy, he gets the prize. You figure he walked into Wegmans and walked all around looking for whatever he wanted to get.
Yeah.
Wearing that thing. I'm like, that was hilarious. That was the best one.
That's great. I wish I would have saw that.
Oh my God. My son's like, oh, I got to get one of those. I'm like, why? He goes, just to wear it. Because if you think about it, like if you would have gone back a year ago, oh, look what I bought. What the hell did you buy that for? Like, why? What are you going to wear? And now you're like, yeah, okay, yeah, fine. Cool.
I'm right. Oh, and I've seen some stuff, too. It's like, you go out, people handle your groceries. They handle everybody's groceries.
Oh, my God.
They give change.
Look, to each their own, right? I think I've said this multiple times. As long as you're not hurting anybody, fine. You say I got to wear, it's a business, it's a private business. You tell me I need to wear a mask. And by the way, don't get upset at the business. Don't sit there and scream, I don't have to wear a mask, whatever. I get it. I completely support your view and everything. but that business is trying to stay in business.
Yes.
And they're trying to avoid being shut down by the local government or whatever because they're not following some guidelines.
That they make up by the hour.
Right, well, yeah, hour, you're lucky, maybe every 10 minutes. But they're doing this in order to maintain their livelihood. So if you need some, instead of going in there without a mask and being an asshole about it, put your mask on because you know what you're doing? You're helping that business stay alive. You might not agree with wearing the mask. I don't. But I do it because this business is they don't want to lose their liquor license. They don't want to lose their health board permit. So fine, put it on, go in, get what you need, leave, take it off, whatever. But yeah, it's kind of you walk in and then they got the plexiglass for the cashier, and the cashier's got a mask on. So the cashier's talking to you through a mask, and then this guy go through a and you're like, what? Huh? What'd you say? and then you go to pay. Nobody wants to touch anything. So, all right. So I'll use my credit card. Right? But then you got to touch the punch pad. It's like you can't go here. But like Home Depot and Lowe's never closed. Never closed.
I know they did the thing. My cousin said at Walmart, like probably in March they started doing the limit. But then I'm going, dude,
you can only walk in one door.
Yeah. But you got to count the numbers who go in and come out, you know.
Well, that's why they moved it. There's one door you're allowed in to stores like that, and you're allowed out of it. And they got somebody there, and probably has a clicker. But
I use the analogy from just doing the doors at bars. Look, if you come in the bar, I ask you for ID. You got to have ID.
But like, okay, how come Walmart can stay open, but your local mom and pop shop had
to
close the door? Like, I don't understand that.
But liquor stores can stay open.
Liquor stores. I can go both ways on that one.
I know the reason they supposedly said.
Well, I think there's two reasons. One, and they may be valid or not, the amount of tax revenue that they would lose if they shut down liquor stores would be ridiculous. Yes, granted, they've already lost a ton of tax revenue anyhow from people not driving their cars and going out to dinner, whatever. And then the other one is the disease issue.
That's the one I've heard.
Yeah, I mean, and I can look. An addiction is really.
What if
tough,
somebody
really,
said to you
really
though?
Tough.
Well,
and
you could just go to Wegmans to get booze. Like they have to get the hard stuff, right? Because like you could buy beer anywhere.
You can buy beer anywhere, but the way the liquor laws work in New York, you're only they won't allow hard liquor to be sold.
Yeah.
You can't buy liquor or wine in a grocery store. It has to be in a liquor store. And then if like let's say you owned a liquor store, you can only own one. You can't own multiple liquor stores. I don't understand the ruling behind that, but whatever.
I don't know.
But to me, it was the tax revenue and the addiction piece. And I can kind of support that.
The tattoo parlors?
Well, I mean, if it's supposed to be, if it can be transmitted person to person, I can kind of get that one. But who knows if it can or it can't? Because at one point it couldn't, then it could.
Remember, it wasn't contagious. Man.
It's not airborne. You don't need to wear a mask. You have to wear a mask. It's just like, come on, man.
I know, and the thing too is, I think that's what I like to see. Give me a problem, and we'll work towards it. This you hear different stuff every day. Well, and isn't mom and pop store? This is somebody. And one thing I want to clear up, like I would hear people with these protests, it's just businesses. It doesn't matter. They have money.
Oh, my God.
That pissed me off beyond.
I'll give you.
You can go, but I'll just say my piece for a second. Yeah. I know, I'll tell a story again, Tony Empire Comics.
Yep.
The ice storm. When we had the ice storm.
Yeah.
I was there with them, and I remember the police came in. He stayed there, and the cops asked him, why are you staying here? He heard people were looting. He's like, this is all I got. And people have this thing, you own a business, where's your yacht? These small businesses, you do not. You're lucky.
It's even better than that. They'll say, "Well, you got insurance. What are you worried about?"
Yeah, that.
Like really? So people want to complain about why insurance is so expensive. It's because of people with attitudes like that.
My view is that none of them own businesses, and you don't realize you can just destroy. You've never done this, and you can just take people's livelihoods. Not only that, but like beat people with boards.
Oh my!
I would get the hell out of. I would just leave.
One in Rochester where that lady was coming out.
Yeah,
like, come on, man! You're doing nothing. Whatever your cause is. I mean, I may not agree with your cause. I may agree with your cause. Whatever, right? And I don't care. The moment you bring violence into it, you've completely, nobody's listening to you
freedom.
anymore.
You have the freedom to demonstrate about whatever you want. I remember I did one thing for a festival. They were demonstrating against the bishop. Whoever the hell he is. I couldn't care one way or another. I went up to them and said, hey, I support you. You keep it peaceful. You have perfect right to do it.
Yeah.
And everything. But the thing is, when you get violent, I know, for example, when they tore down the statue of noted slaver Frederick Douglass, that evil slave driver. That to me goes, what the heck is going on?
Here's a few things that, with this whole COVID thing, that really, really torque me. The hypocrisy is unbelievable, and the sheer stupidity of people is unbelievable. Unbelievable. And I'll give you some examples. So I'm going to talk about the stupidity one first, because that's kind of low-hanging fruit in my mind. And I don't think it gets addressed enough. And it can be addressed a multitude of ways. But here's some examples. So everybody here knows that I'm not the biggest fan of social media. However, disclaimer, I do have stock in Facebook, so I'm kind of torn because I'm making actually pretty good money on it. The stock's actually going really well.
Bravo.
Yeah. So, however, I think it's the downfall of America.
I agree with you
I just
too,
think it's the downfall of America. And here's the example on the whole stupidity piece. I saw somebody post a thing that it was like, the economy doesn't matter. Why are people, it was like an attack against the president. Like, he's all happy that the economy, the stock market is going well. It's not about the stock market. And the meme was 1% of the U.S. owns 50% of the stock market value. 10% of the U.S. owns 94% of the stock market. And I'm sitting there, I'm going, and then it said, it's not about the stock market. I'm going, you're a fucking moron. You are a fucking moron. And what I wanted to put was, okay, then explain to me where your pension fund sits. Explain to me where people's 401ks are, 403bs. That's where a majority of the stock market value is. This is why it's important to make sure you have a solid U.S. economy and the stock market is doing well, because then you're going to have issues when it completely tanks and you're sitting back. Oh, and by the way, the same people that you're going after because they're worried about the stock market, they're the first people you're going to attack when your pension plan goes to zero or your 401k goes to zero. But because it fits your political narrative right now, you're all about hammering that point of it. And what you really need to do is get a freaking education. And the best part about this, the person that posted it was a fucking teacher. Ugh. You got to be kidding me. So that's number one.
And I think, too, also, I've always said now, we've lost, say we talk about something, we agree, we disagree, we get some facts. Now, anything I tell somebody, if it doesn't fit into their particular narrative, they dismiss it.
Oh, without a doubt.
It's not real. They don't want to talk about it.
Without a doubt.
You can dislike one. Yeah, go on.
But here's the other one. So everybody hears what's going on in Chicago and all this crap, and it's been going on for a while, right? I mean, but when they started protesting and they started looting businesses and it's peaceful protesting and they're burning down whatever and shooting up whatever, it was, we don't need any help. We don't need any help. And the mayor Lightfoot is like, we're fine. We don't need the federal help, blah, blah, blah. However, and this is the part that I can't believe the press has not destroyed this lady on and her whole administration. The moment those looters went on the Magnificent Mile and started breaking Christian Dior, Armani, and businesses on the Magnificent Mile, then it was like, this is bad, you can't do this. So think about this. This is a liberal mayor who is absolutely fine with all the looting and the protesting that was happening in the poorer neighborhoods. But the moment they crossed over the bridge into what everybody views Chicago as, now you got a problem. No, you had a problem beforehand, and you weren't dealing with it the right way. Then she comes out and says, by the way, this is the person who said, we support protesting. You can't protest on my block. Wait a minute. You either can or you can't. What gives you the right to say somebody can't protest on this street, but it's okay in this neighborhood?
I have
this is the problem too. That I have.
Have you heard of the Chris Martin Palmer thing?
No.
Chris Martin Palmer, well, I guess he was an NBA player for like 10 years. He was a commentator for ESPN. Does very he's very pro Black Lives Matter. He's got like white people are evil things.
Yep.
They showed in Minneapolis, they burned down a low-income housing project. It was set for 140.
Oh, I know this
So
guy,
what happens is he's going, burn, baby, burn, Black Lives Matter. They came to his gated neighborhood in Hollywood and hit his Starbucks and were going at the gates. He was calling them animals, saying to call the police, go into your own neighborhood.
That's a perfect example. It's like the hypocrisy. And by the way, it happens on both sides.
Oh, yeah.
All day long. It happens on both sides.
It's an NIMBY attitude.
And then you have people that say, if you vote for a third party, blah, 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 whatever. I go, maybe people are voting for a third party because they recognize these other two parties don't get shit done.
And John Adams sent me a clip, and I had to laugh my ass off. It was a clip of these the defund police protesters.
Yeah.
So they're throwing rocks at cars. Guy turns around. This middle-aged guy gets out of his car with a tire iron. They scared her, screaming, call the police.
Oh, yeah. Well, dude, how about the guy in Portland? He's in his truck, sees a transgender getting robbed, gets out to help the person. They attack that dude. And then they're beating the shit out of him. Then they grab his girlfriend, they tackle her, they finally get in the car, get in the car. He slowly, because they'll tell you he was trying to run people over, slowly tries to get away, runs through a red light, nobody around. They chasing him, he ends up crashing, they pull him out, beat the shit out. He never puts up a fight. He's like, hey man, I'm not trying to do anything. Some dude comes from behind him, and I don't know, he's like Charlie Brown, finally gets to hit the football because Lucy ain't pulling it away, and the football's this dude's head.
Yeah, I saw it.
And, like, holy shit. And then people are raising money for the dude that kicked them. Like, you got to be kidding me.
That's what I said. Where has anybody raised money? Where are these celebrities to raise money for all the businesses that have been destroyed?
Oh, no,
where's one?
It doesn't fit their narrative.
Yeah, where's one? But there was a meme you liked I posted a while back. It said, in 2017, a Swedish scientist developed a cure for coronavirus. Then afterwards it said, no, he didn't. I made this meme in 5 minutes in my basement.
Yeah, oh yeah. And
the other one I heard about that lion. Remember the memes with the lion going around? There was supposedly a lion. They had a lion eating a garbage plate, going to Kodak.
Oh, I haven't
there was
seen
a
those.
story. What happened was my friends live on Versailles Street by Seneca Park Zoo.
Yeah.
I remember the first night this happened. I heard all the sirens down on. I guess they hit, but they said the protesters called. It said people were in the zoo. They were going to let the animals out to get the cops down there to distract them. While they did, they looted Marshalls. And this stuff about people coming in.
I'm not shocked.
And there's people coming in.
If that's true, I don't know if it's true or not.
These are people. That's all I've heard from people who lived around there. And I do know, like they said, in terms of, these are people from out of town. I know somebody's store got looted on the Ridge, and he said he recognized the people.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, I think it's the same people that go to these stores and, oh my God, there's a protest. Great, let's go, free shoes.
But I've also said, too, my view, one of the things, like in terms of, this will tell you who these protesters are. Okay, there were two stores, one city, I think it was Philadelphia. There's a hip-hop store, and there's a Sephora. Hip-hop store was untouched. They looted the Sephora.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm shocked by that, because typically those, people that are loot, they're going to get going.
But that's my friend told me that because we were making the point. But I've also used this comment. I've worked with associations that, like in the 19th Ward and poor neighborhoods, instead of doing protests, you want to do something, help people? Why don't you volunteer to help these neighborhoods, clean them up, help maybe mentor some kids, do something useful instead of just screaming.
Yeah.
Do something good for the community. There's a lot of people who need help.
but I don't think that fits their narrative.
No, it doesn't, because you feel good about yourself doing nothing, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it's easier for me to stand on a street corner with a sign and scream and yell about, injustices in the world than it is for me to actually take time.
That's what I mean, exactly.
More than just that hour that I protest.
Yeah.
Consistent time out of my day, week, month, year,
work at a
quarter,
soup kitchen or something, like once a week.
And then to get emotionally involved.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to mentor a kid, you're going to get emotionally involved
you have to
with that
be
kid.
there for him,
and
too.
you have to be there. You can't just say, hey, I'm going to start doing this, and then stop 2 weeks later.
I
Like,
know.
you have to do it. And I don't think people, in general, I don't think people have the motivation to
No,
do
we
that.
like stuff on the cheap.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we like
well,
to do.
Again, to me, it's the social media thing.
Yeah.
You want it now, quick,
And I think
easy,
also
fast.
social media makes everybody. You could do nothing significant in your life. You could just do whatever. You're the expert on everything. You're self-important. It's like that adrenaline. And I guess I've heard like Facebook and some of these, they hired people who worked at the casinos in Vegas, sort of how to do this, like, get people hooked.
Maybe. I don't know if that's true or not.
Because get to the point where when you have to, like one of my friends said, I put my phone down because he's a musician. I would have to look every 5 minutes for messages.
Yeah.
But the thing, like for social media, it's like you're not in person, and there's like this egotism and narcissism to it. Oh, I got 50 likes.
I've never seen anybody win an argument on social media.
No.
Ever.
And we have some of our friends can do.
I don't know why you even try.
No, that's why you see my posts. My posts tend to be somewhat silly.
Yeah.
And I'll talk with friends who are intelligent and I respect. I'll talk politics all day. But why am I going to bother stupid crap on there?
Oh, it's here. Look, I have friends that are on, and so do you, that are on.
I can think of two of them
that
right
are
off
on
the bat.
both sides of the spectrum, right? You got people that are like on the progressive liberal side, and you got people that are on the conservative side. And
that way, people on the conspiracy side.
Well, yeah, and then we have a few people that are on the conspiracy side. Yeah, they're still, they got their weed whacker and they're at the grassy knoll trying to find the gun casings. By the way, that was a Saxon Dallas 1 p.m. reference.
Excellent.
And to me, I'm friends with all of them, and like I sit there and I say some of these posts that they're doing are absolutely stupid, but I'm not getting in an argument with them. I'm like, that's their point of view. Fine, whatever.
My other view on that is I've never used a litmus test. As long as you're not an asshole, you can be my friend. That's my litmus test.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that one. Yeah,
that's what I am. You've known me for decades. You know the diverse group of friends I have.
Yep.
And I've never held any litmus test on that. But I've seen posts where, well, if you vote for Trump, I'm going to unfriend you, or you don't vote. And I would never do that to anybody.
Well, first off, hold on. Let's just take that post at its face value, right? So somebody posts, if you vote for insert political name, insert political party, I'm not going to be your friend.
Yeah.
Is that really going to make you stop voting for whoever
Actually,
you feel you should vote for?
My view, I'm such a contrarian. If I wasn't voting for that person, I'd probably vote for him.
Oh, just to
be an asshole, yeah. And I have people like literally going on, like, okay, for like, say, Trump, for example, or Biden, if somebody likes it, if they like the page. And I think that's creepy. I've had people out people on Facebook trying to say they're hateful or whatever. And these are nobodies, too. And I've always said, you need a life. You're not in high school anymore. I have people, they're in their 40s doing this, and I'm just looking going,
you know what
are you going to do?
I didn't think of it that way, but that's actually
it's high school.
That's a really good analogy. It is high school. It's like, there's this table for these people to sit at lunch in, and there's this table for this group, and there's this table, and you can't go to that group if you're part of this group. The high school lunchroom has moved to social media.
And my good friend Will Carroll, he made this point last week, and this is a thing. I know when this is over, I'll see my friends again. I know he made the point, for some of you with the posts you make, you think you're going to have any friends in real life left?
Oh, I think people that are to me it's sad, because if you're the type of person that all you're doing is the kind of political posts, and that's all you're ever talking about, I don't think you're very well rounded, because you're probably doing is listening to MSNBC or Fox News, and that's
or watching
memes
or whatever,
and that's all you do. And if that's all you do, of course, that's how you're going to feel about a certain topic, person, political party, whatever. Because
it's pro wrestling.
Because all you ever hear is the stuff that you want to hear, and you will not listen to the opposing view, and you don't have an open mind about it. And when you go out, you're going to hang around those same freaking people.
Yeah.
So you're not well-rounded at all. You're not.
And I use the Ed Koch quote. He said something about running for mayor. He said, if you agree with 9 of the 12 things I stand for, vote for me. If you agree with 12 of the 12, go see a psychiatrist. And I could make
you should never, I don't think there's ever been a politician that I've agreed with 100%.
But it's like if somebody says, like, if a Republican came out tomorrow and said the moon is purple, or a Democrat said it was like, say this, somebody said the moon was purple, say Republican said it or a Democrat. The Democrat would agree, even though they looked in the sky, the Republican would agree if the Republican said it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, you could look on both sides. Like, you can go, like, if you mention something like, say, for example, Trump's done good, like, say, human trafficking, whatever else.
Yep.
Or you could say, okay, something a Democrat's done good. No matter what, if you're on the other side, you're going to say, you're going to have to make some, no.
Yeah, it does not matter what Party A does. Party B will say it's horrendous.
Yeah.
It does not matter. And you notice I did not put in the name of the political parties, because it's
either.
It's
either. It's like you're on this side or that side. It's like a lot of people, I'll get your thing on mail-in voting in a second, but my view, a lot of people already have their minds up, because you could have a freaking penguin versus like a horse, and they would vote for him. That's what was the old thing about the blue dog, the yellow dog Democrats. If it was a yellow dog in Texas, but it was a Democrat, I'd vote for him. And I think a lot of people just have their minds made up.
Yeah, no, I agree. You're not going to change people.
No.
You're not at all.
And what did we do, though, when this started? While they were arguing politics, we were making song lists.
Oh, yeah, no, like when this whole COVID thing hit and everything kind of shut down, and all of a sudden it was just like one political post after another political post. I'm like, you know what? Here's what I'm going to do. Like, I'm going to pick some, like, here's today's cover tune. And I just posted that, and the next day, here's today's cover tune, and then all of a sudden I had people.
I jumped on it.
And I was like, okay, this is cool. Well, fine.
We did like a plague. We did a plague album of like themed songs.
Like, at least at that point, hey, I never heard this. This is cool, right? Or wow, this is a different type of genre, doing a cover of a different. Like, I was fine with that. What I'm not fine with is the whole. Here's my view. If you don't like it, I can't be your friend. You know what? If that's your honest, truly, like, fine, whatever. Move on.
It's my view. I have enough friends. I know the real ones.
I do like your litmus test is if you're an asshole.
I always use that. I've always used that. It served me well in high school, after high school.
Yep.
But one of the ones you did that I thought was great was you picked this concept of the shittiest videos. Yeah. And I remember, like, we could have picked like 10 Kiss videos. Oh,
I could have kept going.
But the best comment, my friend Todd Bradley, I put the one for All Night Up. Yeah. He's like, this is something out of Second City Television.
Yeah, I mean, it was weird because I'm like, all right, I'm doing these cover tunes, and I'm like, all right, I got to change it up. I got to come up with something new. And honestly, what got me was like Billy Squire. Billy Squire is a really good musician.
But
he's got some. But
pink shirt fucked his career.
But that video completely grenaded his whole like career. Like, he was done. And all I keep thinking, like, when I see this, like, a group of people sitting in a room. Got this concept for this video. Here's what we're going to do.
You're going to dance around.
Yeah, this is great. And you're going to do that, and you're going to wear, the Seinfeld puffy shirt, and you're going to do that. And you're like, somebody in that room has got to be sitting there going, this is so fucking stupid. Oh my, I can't believe we're doing this. Like, I can just, like, he's out there running, he starts on the floor doing all this shit. And you got to think, like, the drummer, right? The guy that gets sitting back there going,
Bobby Chouinard.
Why the fuck am I doing this? Holy
I
shit.
got you,
Put
though,
a
'cause
bullet in my head.
I can't remember the name, but I found these clowns. It was like a death metal.
Oh
band
my
of
God,
these
that
ass
was-
clowns.
that was-
these fucking ass clowns going to the woods.
hands down. The problem is like I couldn't use it. Like you used it, so I can't take it and put it in my list.
Well, you could have. I'd have let
Well,
you.
I already had my list, and I'm like, but that is hands down
Your commentary was better.
it was the best, shittiest video ever.
I'll set this up. It was like a death metal band cavorting in the woods. And it's like, it's like a guy fucking a tree or something.
I mean, it was so bad. It was.
I think you said your comment started, what is this shit?
It was like if you're driving down the road and everybody says this, everybody slows down to look at the accident. Like, why? It's on the other side of the road. What are you worried about? But everybody does. This video was so bad that you had to watch it. You had to watch it.
Well, I kept tagging people. I would get you, then Sheldon. I think I just started drinking again. Then John Adams.
Oh my
what
God.
the fuck is this?
What the hell was
Could you
that?
imagine being in a band? Well, now you're going to hit the tree with your drumstick.
Oh my God, it was so bad. The guy's running around like he's got like he dropped a deuce in his pants and he's trying. It was so bad, man. Oh my God, it's killing me. I got to look up who the hell that was.
I know, I forgot too.
Who the hell was that?
It's like that metal band, obviously. This is so fucking terrible.
Oh my God, and that was number one. Like you're not coming close to beating that one. But but also it's obscure.
Yeah.
So what I tried to keep my list to was like famous, like
Because it's no
really
fun. Like,
popular
you
artists,
think of
right.
some bands, they don't have the money or anything.
Right. I get that. I mean, look, here's advice. If you're a band and you don't have a lot of money, you got to make a video, just get on stage and play your song. That's it. You don't need a concept.
I mean, my friend Alyssa's been doing a
let
couple.
your music
Yeah. Just show yourself on in concert playing a song.
worst.
Because I know, like, you didn't do, like, for Gothic Toad, you guys were approached by, like, real name directors. You were offered to go on Epstein Island, I heard.
No, there's no way we would do that.
No, I know you wouldn't. You would refuse.
No, yeah, I mean, he wanted us, but we're like, no way.
I know
dude.
that. I know. Well, they offered Sheldon Twizzlers.
You need to be. You need to be like in a like an electric chair.
Yeah.
But the best was when Spielberg came down,
Yeah.
and he wanted.
Yeah, I
us,
remember that.
He actually wanted us to do the soundtrack for Schindler's List, and we're like, can't do it. Can't do
No.
it. You won't win. If we do this, then you're not winning an Oscar because everybody will focus on the music and not the
Yeah,
great
that was
story
the thing
that you were
we'll
telling.
take away from the story. Yeah, the world should know who these guys are.
Right.
I literally blanked. I can't remember them. It was like,
Okay, where the hell? The Black Satans.
what was the name of the song?
The Black Satan. Oh, I just got rid of it. That was black. Just put in
Google
the
Black
Black Satan.
Satans.
Man, that
And just
video was
send the letters
so
to us and
bad.
just make you. 'cause-
Honestly, at this point, that band should be like in today's society. They should be so popular just based on how shitty that video was. Like their views should be like 8 million views just on how bad that thing was, and
yeah.
YouTube's paying them like $100,000 a
I
month
know.
because of the amount of people that go to it.
But now the other thing too is I know I was actually talking to a friend of mine's son. He's going to Robert Morris College, and I was asking how's the college going to be, and I was up at Loving Cup, so RIT's coming back. He said they're trying to keep them prisoners in their dorms, basically.
Oh,
and I'm thinking like, oh wow, like yeah, I'm not. If I'm a college kid, I'm not going to want to go out and party, socialize.
Well, yeah, Syracuse University just suspended like 12 kids because they all went to this party. I mean, they're going to have a hard time. You got 18, 19-year-old kids. I mean, come on,
How did your
man.
son O'Connor just graduate? How did the last semester go? Did they manage to get it all done?
They got it done. It was virtual. And I got to give a lot of credit to Canandaigua. They actually did a really good job. The communication was solid. Teachers were following up. The teachers weren't, the concern is, are the teachers going to be engaged and how are they going to keep the kids engaged? And kids are only going to be engaged with the parent if it's important to the parent. And it was important to us. Like, you need to do this. Like, hey, I got to know from your teacher, like, here's the stuff that has to be done this week. Are you on top of this? Show me. So me and my wife were like that. But the graduation, like, what are you going to do now? Like, no real graduation. But Canandaigua, they went to Bristol Mountain, and the kids, you got on a chairlift, you went to the top of the mountain. And then there was a ceremony just for the kid and at the top of the mountain getting his degree. And then you rode back down, right? And They did a
cool.
really. They
That's
did. It
awesome.
was cool. I mean, they did a really, really good job, and I got to give them a lot of credit. And then, we did the whole before COVID, looking at the schools. Where's he going to go? And he was decided he's going to go to Clarkson, like his older brother did. We dropped him off last week, Monday. Actually, it'll be a week Monday. He had to get a COVID test 7 days before he's supposed to be on campus. There's all these things you had to do, and the big one was you had to have this COVID test, and you had to come back negative. So you had to get the negative result, and you had to send in $280, by the way, to get the COVID test. $280. Sends it in, okay, you're fine. We couldn't help him move in. I was actually okay with that because I don't have to carry crap up and down stairs, right? So we loaded the truck, drive out, and then I unloaded. We're at the curb, unload everything. His roommate's from California. Because you were from another state, you had to come in 2 weeks. So he had to be there August 1st and quarantine in a dorm room for 2 weeks. They'd bring the food to the door, grab it. Like, he couldn't do anything. They would allow him to go outside, but he couldn't leave the campus. So, for 2 weeks. So my son gets up there, drop him off, you do the 7 days before, and then the next day they do another COVID test of all the kids. You can't have any other people in your dorm room except you and your roommate. You got to wear a mask wherever you go. You have to wear a mask in the classroom. You cannot leave the northern country. So they started like 2 weeks early. There's no breaks. There's no parent weekend. They'll go all the way to November with no breaks at all. And then just before Thanksgiving, they're done. They come home, and then they don't go back till January 16th.
Yeah, I've got because I still do some stuff with the history department at Fisher. I was talking to one of the professors there and I asked, they started in August, they're going to be done by Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And I'm debating if I'm going to go down there or not. I'm going to see what the rules are and everything. And I'm one of those people, too, no matter what I feel, whatever the rules are, ain't on them. I'm doing whatever. Hey, I won Best Mask Contest for my Rocky and Bullwinkle basket at Abilene, so...
That's cool.
We had a mask contest. So,
that's cool.
So that's what you got to do. It's like you have to... I've always said, it's the old Clint Eastwood Heartbreak Ridge thing. Improvise, adapt, overcome. You have to, whatever circumstance... You can sit back and complain. I had a crap year the last couple of years. My dad with dementia, and last year was horrible, and he passed away, in January. And I'm thinking... taking care of him in this, trying to explain to him why we can't go out or anything, even though I wish he was around. But also when he fell ill, he just, this is before this crap happened. I had a friend who, unfortunately, his dad's got pancreatic cancer, and he's debating how can he say goodbye to his grandkids online. But he had an operation just before that, and had it been a week later, they wouldn't have had it. And I had friends. I had one friend whose uncle passed away. They wouldn't even let her see him.
See, this is a problem I have with
And then there's these funerals, too, where you can have a funeral, say, example, for some public figure. It's packed where you can't visit your loved ones.
Some loved one passes away, you can't show remorse. Well, you yourself can, but you can't have a wake, a funeral, anything like that. But some political figure passes away, and you can have 1,000 people in an auditorium in 3 separate cities, and that's okay.
Right. So
this is the problem that they're creating. Yeah. You either have the expectation / rule, or you don't.
No, I know. It's like people,
and it can't be. This group of people is fine. This group of people is not.
I agree exactly. It's like what De Blasio did, like with the Civics.
Fucking.
Oh yeah, I know. Like with the, but in terms of like, okay, if you want to go to church, you can't. But say you have a protest outside the church.
Oh, you can definitely do that.
So that's the thing, and that's what bothers me.
I thought there was the delineation between church and state. I could have sworn like our country was built around that.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how this is going out the window.
Like you have all these people like they don't even want "In God We Trust" on a dollar bill.
Yeah.
But you can't go to church. Like, look, I don't go to church.
No, I don't.
If somebody wants to go to church, go to church.
Yeah, it's my view.
But then people will say, well, if they go, and then what do they do after that? So they could get it there and bring it someplace else. Prove to me they didn't get it before that. It's not like you're walking around and there's like this blue speck flying.
But
okay,
here's
that's
a little
COVID.
thing.
You got to
We'll
avoid
take
it.
a little bet here in terms of like now. I think the latest things we can't do are play pool, darts,
I don't
dancing.
even know, man.
What would be your ban then? Your silly ban to protect everybody from this?
What would I?
I'm going to say
Man.
kite flying because that kite goes up in the atmosphere and it gets
Well,
those
it's above
COVID things.
It's above 5.6 feet.
Yeah.
You know, unless you got
So
you
it's
got a
gonna
bag
get all
of
those
chips.
COVID germs
well, you'd
on
have
it.
to attach a bag of chips to it, but then I don't know if it'll fly.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why the food's important. What would be my man? I don't. That's a good question.
That
man.
would be something silly that would be like you would just put out that you could see no frisbee playing or like you have to wear a certain type of hat because hats with this bill don't.
You can't wear a hoodie
Yeah.
because as you're walking, all of that COVID gets stuck in the hood, and you're carrying it other places where it might not be. Can't wear a hoodie.
That's
There we
good.
go. That's
good.
my stupid
That's your
rule.
edict.
That's my stupid rule.
That's your edict.
Yep.
And as we say, go vote. Go for
Now,
vote.
by
for
the
what
way,
you want.
As the weeks go on, I may change it to you can't wear a blue hoodie, or you can't wear a red hoodie, or you
the
can't
color
wear a green.
attracts the COVID more.
Correct. But however, if you're wearing a hoodie that was advertising some type of food product, you'd be okay.
That's okay, but also we should ban different colors of clothes while we're on that because say like a lighter color in the sun attracts the COVID.
Yeah.
So
That's a
get
good
that
point.
yellow thing
Yeah,
off.
good point. Yeah, good point.
But this has been, as always, it's great that we're still around. And you're
True.
back.
Yeah.
And we might be closed down again soon. Who knows?
Who knows, man? It's at this point, I just get up.
But we'll have back and we'll do maybe you want to do like one of the CD things or just talk about whatever we talk
whatever
about.
you want, man.
Mount's going to come down in September.
Whatever you want to talk about. I'm
But
good
cool.
with it.
You have any plugs? What are you doing? Just hanging in day by day?
Just day by day, just living my life, living the dream.
And the thing is, I mean, don't stop living. That's one of the messages I give. You can't stop living.
Look, my whole thing with all this, just stay positive. Find something positive going on, and just focus on that.
Yeah, and hopefully
There's way
we'll have
too much
live
negative
shows. I
going
want
on.
some live shows back, but until
Yeah.
then, what can you do? I
Agreed.
hope for it. But the one thing we're going to play, because again, I'm not even going to ask. You're not going to let any.
No, not
No,
happening.
Gothic Toad. So
No.
we're going to play. I saw Ally Venable at Abilene last year. She's a 21-year-old guitarist from Kilgore, Texas. She smokes. I mean, she just. And I don't mean cigarettes.
Newports, Marlboro. What is? What?
That's what I want to say. That's okay. That she's banned in New York because of that. But she is a natural, and she's got like her new album is Texas Honey. She does a Texas Honey radio show I tune every week. She has interesting people on.
Okay.
It's on Sundays, and she's playing local gigs. She's not going to come up here for a long time, but she is like you can hear everybody in. Like Stevie Ray Vaughan, she knows all the
Where is
classics.
she from?
She's Kilgore, Texas.
Oh, okay. You said that.
And she goes, actually, if you go on her Facebook, she goes fishing with her dad every morning on Sundays. You can watch her try to catch trout if you're bored.
All right, cool.
But we're going to play, I'm playing this song because she said it's one of her favorites. It's One-Sided Misunderstanding. So this is Ally Venable, One-Sided Misunderstanding, because Gothic Toad is Gothic Toad and we'll sue our asses.
Let
so
it
for
rip,
Jeff
man.
and me, thank you and bye-bye.
See ya.
I've been waiting for too long to find ways to get you back, but you're too far gone. I've been wasting too much time pretending.